Hey, what is up, everyone? Today I wanted to go over a bunch of Helena's talents and weapon traits that we're seeing in the higher ranking Eternal dungeons right now. So we're talking like Eternal like 40 plus right now. I tried to find some sort of consistency here. So all of these are going to be Godfall quarries, and like there's around 5 or 6 different Helena players here who are in the top 10. They're all insane players, and I just wanted to see what they're running and kind of talk about them in a video here. So going through the talents right here with the first one, this one is Adam. He's running Sharpened Blade, Magic Ward, Reinforced Steel, Gleaming Shield, Frontline Defender, High Command, Guarded Veteran, Punishing Strikes, and Aftershock. So anytime you're going to see the Aftershock talent or basically anything related to Shockwave, they're pretty much always going to be running the Legendary Boots is what we're seeing. There are most people running Legendary Boots right now. There are people running a Legendary Neck, though, as well. So here's some boots. You just saw the neck right here on Aiko. I probably butchered his name, but let it be. Here's the neck right here on Escaper. From Prom, you're seeing the boots. From Yoda, you're seeing the boots in this run, but I know that he swapped to the neck recently, I'm pretty sure. So this was just a 41, but I think he's running the neck right now. It could have been a dungeon decision, though. It's entirely possible. From Luigi, you're seeing the boots right here, and then from No Need, you're seeing the boots as well. So a pretty good mix from the neck and the boots. If you're wondering, I am currently running the neck. So you are seeing less people running the neck, but it does seem like it's kind of becoming like a new thing. Like maybe people are picking up on it because I know the boots were kind of the main pick right now. So you never know. Maybe people swap to it. Maybe it doesn't work with their build too, or what they feel comfortable playing. So clearly they're both viable though. So yeah, first one right there. As far for the talents, you will see Gleaming Shield on pretty much every single Helena. Gleaming Shield, Gleaming Shield. The other one that you're also seeing is High Command. This is on all of them. So Gleaming Shield, High Command. This guy's actually not taking High Command. Okay, so talking on my ass right here. Gleaming Shield, High Command though. Gleaming Shield, High Command. Gleaming Shield, High Command. And yeah, Gleaming Shield, High Command. So most people are taking Gleaming Shield, High Command. You're also seeing Frontline Defender a lot, and Second Wind. So Frontline Defender, and this guy's taking Martial Command, which is the one that I've been taking. So it made me happy to see that at least somebody's taking it, right? But for the most part, yeah, people are swapping Martial Command out for Second Wind right here. So Frontline Defender, Second Wind, Frontline Defender, Second Wind, Frontline Defender, Second Wind, Frontline Defender, Second Wind, and then Frontline Defender, Second Wind, no Second Wind. He swaps this out for a lot of different talents right here. So you're actually seeing Sharpened Blade. You're seeing Skull Crusher is sometime run, but Punishing Strikes maybe is an option. Guarded Veteran, like a bunch of different stuff here. So he also takes the best defense, which is interesting because this is a talent that most people aren't taking. He is running the legendary neck though, so taking the best defense it does actually translate to a good offense. Or no, the best defense is a good offense. Yeah, so he throws his shield more, he gets the 20% DR more. It actually could translate to a lot of damage reduction for him. So interesting to see that that's being run right there. Frontline Defender and no Second Wind on this one. Looks like he has swapped it out for a couple of different things again. Probably namely Magic Ward right here is included, and then Sharpened Blade is another big one. And then you're noticing he has the Aftershock, of course, with the boots. Just copying his build right here, it looks like this is what he's running, though. He's got Sharpened Blade, Magic Ward, Reinforced Steel, Gleaming Shield, High Command, Frontline Defender, Guarded Vet, Punishing Strikes, and Aftershock. So this is not taking Second Wind. Keep in mind that what Second Wind does is that when your toughness has been reduced by an amount of damage equal to 30% of your maximum health, you gain 30% strength. Strength is good. It does improve your survivability slightly because it reduces the rate that your toughness decreases. But if you're not having troubles managing your toughness, Second Wind might not actually be giving you too much defensive value. It's more of an offensive talent. So if you wanted to try this out by not taking Second Wind and taking like a bunch of other stuff, you could actually likely improve your survivability by doing something like this. We could talk about this guy right here. So he is running the Neck Legendary, and this one was kind of interesting because he's taking the best defense. So let's take a look at what that build will look like. So this build right here takes some interesting talents. So they got the best defense. He's got Sharpened Blade, Punishing Strikes. So a little bit of damage on the Punishing Strikes right there. He's also got Skullcracker as well, which makes sense with the Legendary Shield. This also scales with the Razor Shrapnel. So if you guys don't know how Razor Shrapnel works, basically your shield throw hits have a 20%. So this is in the neck, but it has a chance to trigger this. So shield throw hits have a 20% chance to trigger an explosion of metal, dealing damage equal to 40% of your shield throw hit that is triggered to the explosion. So 40% of the shield throw hit what your Skullcracker is doing is it's making your hit do 100% increased damage to that first target, which is the one that will trigger the Razor Shrapnel with your neck. It also has a 20% additional chance to critical strike. So this basically can like double the damage of your Razor Shrapnel and your shield throw and stuff. So it's very good. And then along with the best defense, this might actually be a very large amount of damage. So I'm interested to see what that other guy has been running in other dungeons, right? But anyway, though, you are seeing a lot of common trends right here with stuff. So with the boots, you take Aftershock. With the neck, you'll take Skullcracker, stuff like that, right? Now for talking about weapons, you're going to notice that pretty much everyone is running Fated Strike. So right here, no need, Fated Strike on Luigi, Fated Strike on Yoda, Fated Strike on Prom, Escaper, Fated Strike, Baba, Fated Strike, this guy's Fated Strike, Adam is running Aegis. So of the people that we're looking at here, it does seem like he is the only one running Aegis. It doesn't seem like a bad one, but Fated Strike having the reduction on all of your stuff, especially something like Grand Melee, can be pretty nice, right? So personally, using Fated Strike, you can definitely feel the benefit of it, but something interesting to look at. We can dive into the traits a little bit more. So their traits do vary quite a bit, it seems like. So right here, you're seeing that with the Aegis, he's running Visions of Grandeur. This does scale with your weapon's ability cooldown. And also, when you use Visions of Grandeur, it also resets your ability or your weapon ability cooldown. So he could potentially shield and then ult, and then he could get his shield again for later. So you can pretty much always have his shield up, I imagine. And that makes me actually consider this. This might make me insanely tanky if I ran that, so I'm glad that I'm looking into this. The other things that he is running is Heart of Stone, so this is going to give him extra stamina. He's running Navigator's Intuition, this will just give him a bunch of stats. King of the Hill makes it so he's when above 80% health, he takes reduced damage, and then Inspired Allegiance will reduce the cooldown of his weapon and give his group haste. So Inspired Allegiance is pretty awesome, and you're going to see pretty much everybody's running Inspired Allegiance right here. No Inspired Allegiance on Baba right here, but Inspired Allegiance on Escaper. None on Prom. Yoda is running it. Luigi is running it. No Need is running it. So this one is fairly common. Another talent that you'll see a lot is the King of the Hill. King of the Hill here. King of the Hill on Yoda. No King of the Hill on Prom. No King of the Hill on Escaper. Your first man standing is also another pretty similar talent. Just gives you a DR at the start of a fight. So right here, you're going to see first man standing on Baba. First man standing on Aiko. And King of the Hill on Adam. What about Navigator's Intuition or Heart of Stone? None there. None there. None there. Navigator's Intuition, Heart of Stone. And then a Treasure Hunter's Delight seems to be another common one that you're seeing a lot. Those are kind of like the defensive ones that are going to keep you alive. Iron Spikes I've seen a few times as well. Iron Spikes seems pretty decent as well, so... As for the capstone in these tiers, you're going to see Visions of Grandeur. You're seeing right here Visions of Grandeur again. Martial Initiative is a very strong one. And then Visions of Grandeur, Martial Initiative, Visions of Grandeur, Visions of Grandeur, and Martial Initiative. So it seems like it's just those two. I haven't really seen anything else from these guys at least. So I would probably kind of stick in that area if you're looking for it. Finally, we're going to take a look at the gems. So for the most part, you're seeing a lot of yellow gems, mostly because Helena benefits a ton from haste. So you're seeing a lot of yellow here. This is yellow-green from Luigi. You're seeing yellow, a little bit of a mix of red and blue from No Need right here. Yoda is running yellow and a little bit of mix of red and purple right there. It seems like at this time he didn't have all of his gems. I think that he was probably gearing his character, so I would assume that wasn't where he ended up. But you're seeing that he has a mix of yellow, red, purple, green, and diamond. So quite a bit, but he's going heavy into the haste tree, and then he's picking up like the first two and a bunch of other trees. This is going to give you a lot of stamina, I imagine. If you get the first two, 100 stam here, 60 stam there, some stats, 100 stam here, 140 stam. So you notice he's just getting a bunch of extra stamina and stats off of his gems rather than like chasing one of these like middle traits. So maybe he just didn't feel like they were that valuable. You'd rather just like split them up. Interesting idea from Prom there. Escaper is going pretty much all yellow. And again, keep in mind that this isn't necessarily their like official build. I don't know when they're in these dungeons. I didn't look into it. I just kind of pulled up some random dungeons for these guys, all Godfalls and stuff. So maybe they are doing something different now, but this is what it's looking like at the time at least. Here from Baba, you're seeing a ton of yellow. You have a purple gem, and then you have a red as well. From this guy, you are seeing a bunch of blue and yellow. So this is pretty similar to what I'm running right now, but he has a little bit of purple mixed in. And then from Adam, you are seeing a bunch of yellow and purple. I do find the purple interesting. Crit is oftentimes considered one of Helena's worst stats. And the reason for that is that crit doesn't benefit you defensively, it's only offensively. That being said, as you get higher in this tree, you could potentially get access to the Reaper's Reprieve. I don't think you need it all the way up there, but right here. So each time an enemy is dealt damage to you, dies, you gain healing for 12% of your maximum health over 18 seconds. That heal could be pretty nice, and I'm wondering if that's actually what he has. 1692, that would get him up to the 1692 gem power would get him all the way up to Berserker's Zeal right here. So this would give you 300 stam, 300 crit. It also gives them the benefits of all these other ones. So your damage and healing effects on a characters with more than 50% health give you 30% crit chance. Critical strikes do 4% more damage and healing, 3% crit, and each time they hit an enemy. And then Reaper's Reprieve, which we already discussed. So overall, yeah, just interesting to see what people are doing, the different builds and stuff. There's a lot of different builds that you can do with Helena. It seems very up in the air. Not everyone's running like the same talents. There are some talents that are the same. All right, so 100% necessary talents you will take pretty much every time. Gleaming Shield, High Command, Reinforced Steel, Frontline Defender. This is just based off of those logs on what they're taking. This could change. Maybe things have changed as they've been pushing 50s. After that, common talents that you'll take: Guarded Veteran, Second Wind, right? These are the ones that are pretty common. Sometimes they'll swap out Second Wind for things like Sharpened Blade, Magic Ward. Punishing Strikes is very common. If you are running the Legendary Boots, you take Aftershock. If you're not running the Legendary Boots, you want to take Skullcracker. Aside from that, we did see the best defense once. I probably wouldn't recommend it, but it is an option apparently. We also saw Master of War once, saw Magic Ward once. Magic Ward, a lot more common in dungeons that aren't Godfall Quarry, I imagine. We also saw Martial Command once. Yeah, bunch of interesting stuff here. Pick and choose. Use this to make informed decisions. And other than that, I appreciate you guys. If you're watching this, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. Feel free to check me out on Twitch. I have a link in the description below. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.